Once you get the easier habits out of the way, though, you're going to start to build up a little bit more confidence, and then those more difficult habits later on are going to become a lot more sustainable and a lot more manageable. So that would be a few things that I would recommend. Number one, start by adding things in. Number two, once you've added things in, then you could start. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in and welcome back to another episode of Ask Me Anything. Steven here with Team U4, and today's question comes from Key Commander, who would like to know, I did keto once for 5 to 6 days, but it caused me problems like headaches, dehydration, gut health, and poor performance at the gym. I know body needs time to get used to keto diet, but I couldn't keep up. Any suggestions? Well, Key Commander, this is a great question. And with regard to sticking to any type of diet, what you would want to do is, if you find it difficult going all in, then what I would recommend is focusing on little habits here and there and gradually easing into it. Because for a lot of people, it's going to be a lot easier to ease into it rather than going all in all at once. And a couple of ways that you could do this. Number one is by adding things in, and the second way is by removing things. So by adding things in, you could add in just some healthy fats to get your fat intake up a little bit. So with breakfast, you might add in a handful of macadamia nuts. You might want to put a little bit of a slab of butter on top of your steak when you're eating, or some on your vegetables. Those are just a few things you could do. And with regard to adding things in, personally, whenever I am coaching a client, I always try to add in before I take things away, because it's going to be a lot easier to add in than to remove things from your diet. And the more things that you add into your diet, eventually things are naturally just going to be removed. But then once you've started adding things in, then you could start to remove things. So with regard to carbohydrates, you could start by eliminating starchy carbohydrates and then just slowly start to titrate down a little bit so that you're consuming less and less carbohydrates. With regard to the carbs, you don't have to quit it cold turkey and go all out at once. What you can do is, let's say you are consuming 300 grams of carbohydrates, find an amount that you could decrease it by that is going to make it very sustainable for you. So from 300, are you able to do 200 grams? If that's too much of a jump for you, then maybe drop it down to 250. If that's too big, maybe 275, and then just gradually go down a little bit more. Now, with regard to adding things in and subtracting foods from your diet, another thing that I would recommend is, out of all of the habits that you have, pick the one thing that you know with 100% certainty you're going to be able to accomplish. So let's say removing some carbohydrates from your diet is going to be a little bit too difficult and you're not 100% confident that you could do that. Don't worry about that right now. Find something that you could do. Maybe adding a handful of nuts from breakfast is going to be something that you find very, very manageable, and you know 100% you're going to be able to do that. If you can say with all honesty, 100% I'm going to be able to add a handful of nuts in my breakfast, then go ahead and make that your first habit. And then once you get the easier habits out of the way, though, you're going to start to build up a little bit more confidence, and then those more difficult habits later on are going to become a lot more sustainable and a lot more manageable. So that would be a few things that I would recommend. Number one, start by adding things in. Number two, once you've added things in, then you could start to take things out from your diet. And then the third thing that I would say is pick the easiest habit that you know with 100% certainty you are going to be able to accomplish. Now, once you've done all of that, if you find that it's still difficult to stick to the keto diet, then maybe it's just not for you. But those are just a few different things that you could do to try making it a little bit easier to adhere to the keto diet. If you have any questions at all, go ahead and drop your questions down in the comment section so I can help you guys out. But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button so I know to keep making these types of videos in the future. And if you're either new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as I will be uploading new videos every single day. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again tomorrow.